Coming up on All About Android, we discuss the disappearing back button, the new Snapdragon X55, Samsung Galaxy Tab S5e, and a look ahead at what it might announce at its upcoming device launch. TCL's foldable library of hardware, how apps track you even when they shouldn't, your emails, and a whole lot more. All About Android is next.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by WordPress. Turn your dreams into reality and launch your website at WordPress.com. Get 15% off any new plan at WordPress.com/allaboutandroid. And by AfterShokz, unbelievably comfortable open-ear headphones. Hear music and crystal clear phone calls like never before. Visit aaa.aftershokz.com and use code AAA for $50 off the tech bundle. And by LegalZoom, check out LegalZoom today to see how they can make life better for you and your business. Visit LegalZoom.com and enter AAA at checkout for special savings. Hello and welcome to All About Android, episode 408, recorded on Tuesday, February 19th, 2019, your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason Howell. Bam!
And I'm Florence Ion.
And no Ron today.
Nope.
This is week one of Ron's baby vacation, babycation. Although it's probably not much of a vacation because he has twins. He's got his hands full.
Yeah. It's more like baby assimilation. He's like assimilating with the new children, right?
All right. Well, we wish you all the best, Ron, and we know you're doing a great job as a new dad. I meant to pull out here. Well, first of all, actually, let me just mention real quick here. Cherlynn Low is joining us today. Cherlynn, it's great to have you back from Engadget.com. How are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
Doing all right. We were talking before the show. You were eating ice cream right before the show. That needs to be my new ritual, is to eat ice cream.
Well, we were eating Oreos.
That would lift me up.
And then we talked about eating pie. And then who knows what we're going to eat later this year.
Kingdom, I think, is how you pronounce it.
Yes.
Starts with a Q. We'll talk about that a little bit later. What I was going to say is I have a dad jokes book that I want to send to Ron.
I thought you were going to say I have a dad joke, and I was go on.
I mean, I have a book full of them. I can't remember a single one off the top of my head, but I think I should send it to Ron. Do you think
I think you should. I think that would be a great idea.
A good gift for Ron, now that he's a dad.
Yeah, I think you should also send him like a nice sweater, just to like wear over his like band shirts.
To like tie around his neck.
Yeah,
that's totally a Ron look.
Yeah. Totally. He could do it. I could see him do it, actually.
See him pull it off. Let's see here. So Cherlynn, it's awesome to get you back on. We've got lots of news. We actually have a story in here in the hardware section written by yours truly. We were talking a little bit earlier, as we were kind of getting the show set up, you're working with a lot of laptop hardware right now. What's kind of something that you've got in the can that people can look forward to?
I am not doing this myself, but we do have in the Dell XPS 13. It should be, we're putting it through the set of benchmarks that we have, and then, hopefully get the review out the door soon. I also recently did a MateBook 13 review. Yes, the MateBook 13. There are a lot of laptops. There are just so many of them at CES. It's hard to keep track of all of them sometimes.
Yeah, and these are primarily Windows 10 devices, right?
Yeah, I'm a Windows nerd, which is kind of sad.
What do you like about Windows? What do you like about kind of the current iteration of Windows?
The current iteration of Windows, I mean, it works.
I was thinking thinking the exact same thing in my mind it works.
Right.
Exact phrase.
Everything you want to work on, it works. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's got all the apps I want. I mean, again, I grew up with PC, so I'm, I can use Mac. It's fine, but all my apps are Windows friendly, and so I love PCs. It's good. We're good.
Right on. Well, everybody should definitely check out Engadget.com, find Cherlynn's work there. And like I said, we're going to have one of your articles in the show a little bit later. Before we get into the news, I wanted to just mention at the top instead of at the end, because I usually save it for the end, but just real quick, because maybe we'll catch some new people. twit.to/survey19. We do a yearly survey here. It's really helpful to us if you take just a couple of minutes and hop through there and tell us what you like, what you don't like about what we're doing, things you're looking for, are there topics that you would like to see shows about. This is all just a way for you to tell us what you want from us so that we can better serve you. So twit.to/survey19 is where you go to let us know what you got. Thank you for that time to do that. Now, Victor, I'm going to give you some time to jump into the news.
One thing Jason's not going to take away from you is Android news.
Never. I only give. We only give to you the news. We will never take it away. Not unlike this first story.
Yes, Jason, that's right. So we're getting word from the street right now that Android is about to do away with the back button.
I hope so.
Are you hoping?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Real? Okay, hold on. I have to tell the people what's happening.
Okay.
So they understand. So, friend of the show, Mushal Rahman from XD has continued to pore over that Android Q source code and found that maybe saying bye-bye to the back button. So instead of I guess not a physical, but a back button there in the little row at the bottom, we would actually have a gesture that would help us move backwards.
All right. And I feel like this is what they should have done in the beginning, right? With the Pixel launcher, the gesture integration with the pill-shaped button down at the bottom, all the different gestures, but yet you still end up with this back button to the left side of it right now. I don't know. It just always seemed
off-center,
unnecessary.
Unnecessary?
Yeah, I believe it was OnePlus that did the gesture, and I'm sure other OEMs have done this, but OnePlus, right about the time that this gesture system was launched on the Pixel, OnePlus launched their own, and if I'm not mistaken, they integrated the back button into the gesture button so that when you swipe to the left, it would actually take you back. That just always made a lot more sense to me than having this random back button appear at times.
It's just so, it's just so funny to me because this is all just reminding me. Remember when BlackBerry 10 came out and it was all about gestures?
Okay. All right.
That was like a long time ago. That was like 2013, the top of 2013.
A lot's happened since then.
I know. It was 6 years ago, but it's just interesting to. We're back here again at 2019.
Here we are again.
Gestures.
What's old is new again.
Cherlynn, do you like gestures or are you a fan of buttons? I mean, real talk.
I am a fan. Did you say pill talk?
Because no, real talk.
It's kind of pill talk.
But it is kind of pill talk or
pill talk.
Pillow talk.
Anyway.
That's a different talk.
We will. Yes. I think that if it goes away, we'll all learn to live with it. I like gesture navigation. I like what they introduced with Pi. And I do think, though, that the current iteration, it's just a little finicky. I don't know if it's because, I just feel like my version of Android Pie, because I updated it from the beta version, just was always a little buggy. And so it's just always either oversensitive when I long slide it or when I swipe side to side, it just doesn't respond the way I want to. And I feel like because with gesture-based navigation, you introduce so many more moving parts that it is just more friction on the user's part to get used to. But then again, it's just inertia also. So people will get used to it, get rid of the back button or leave it there. They'll figure a way around it.
I'm thinking what's going to happen with that gesture when the phone is on its side. What is that gesture going to be like? Because
what do you mean?
Now I was just thinking of it. Is this a very specific scenario? And again, I know I talk a lot about using Android Auto on the way here, but Android Auto is it just feels, the one on the phone sometimes feels like it just needs a lot more, WD-30. So to speak, or 40, whatever it's called. And, it feels really buggy. And today I was admittedly not supposed to be taking pictures with my phone, but I took
While driving?
I took a quick picture of the hills. Yes, I did. And then I tried to go backwards and I couldn't.
Oh,
and now
okay.
everybody's going to yell at me. Flo, that is not a use case that this would be important. Let's move on. Sorry.
I know pictures are pretty important. But yes, please be safe.
I'm driving through Sonoma
Please
County.
be safe. So when you do that, so when you've got it in Android Auto mode, does it have the navigation thing on the side kind of like vertically?
Yeah.
Or
but
the,
only
the
when it's
gesture
in
button?
Yes, but only when it's in Android Auto, because then when it exits it's on its side.
Right. It's forced portrait. So then you're kind of looking at it sideways. Yeah. That stuff's always a little weird.
So I know that's not like the best way to be using it. But
Android
it
Auto is probably not the...
It makes me think of other
it's probably not the
scenarios.
only app that it does that. And I would completely agree with you, Cherlynn. There are times where, like, you're doing so much from that navigation pill button, whatever you want to call it, that, like, when you want to... Oh, sorry, I don't have it launched. That's probably the better way to do it. That when you, like, want to go through your history... It's really easy to get this wrong or to overextend it, or you want to go back further through your timeline and you overshoot it.
That is
it can get a
inertia.
little confusing. Obviously, it's probably the kind of thing, like you said, that as people use it more, they get used to it. But that's probably why Google didn't get rid of the back button to begin with, even when they did gesture, because that would be, perhaps a bridge too far right then. This way, at least they're easing people into it. If it even makes it to the actual final version of Android Q to begin with. I'd be surprised if it didn't, but...
I'm using a launcher. I don't even have this gesture.
What launcher?
Lawn chair launcher.
Launcher. That one's so much fun to say.
It is.
So I guess we will find out, but man, that pre-release version of Android Q is the gift that keeps on giving XDA.
I was going to say, it was the gift that keeps on giving Michelle.
Both of them. He's getting a lot of mileage off of that pre-release version of Android Q, and that's exactly what you should do if you get it that early.
Yeah.
Has Project Treble actually improved OS update times on older phones? JRA Phil, at friend of the show, JR, from Computer World, has been tracking OEM update performance. He's done this for quite a while, for years now, tracking, how long it takes certain OEMs to update their software and giving them a report card. And they always do way worse than they should. He begins his article by saying, spoiler alert, prepare to be disappointed. And as he kind of spells out everything that he's looking at, it really doesn't sound that great. Basically, he says that the key architect of Project Treble, Ilyan Malchev, I believe is his name, from Google, told JR last year that Treble should give OEMs a 3-month jump on preparing updates compared to pre-Treble era. And apparently in JR's analysis, it hasn't really sped up much of anything. In fact, some things are worse than before. Whoa. HTC and LG, they're having longer update times than even before. Samsung has improved 213 days with Oreo, up to 177 days with Pi, so that's improved. Okay. Still not great when you consider it hit 179 days with Nougat, which was well before all this stuff. So maybe that's just a blip, a strange blip. So who knows how much of it is actually due to Project Treble at all. One company that is doing really well is OnePlus. I mean, outside of Google, but OnePlus cut its update time by 91 days, so that falls within the 3 months. Yeah. And is doing a better job of kind of updating as quickly as possible.
OnePlus is killing it at this. This is changing. I mean, they are changing. Our landscape has changed. It's no longer like, hey, get a Nexus device. That's how you're going to get Android, as it's supposed to be. It's like, here is an enthusiast brand, which is kind of what I refer to OnePlus as. But even still, it's not completely enthusiast because I know. No,
they're transforming, and now they're in carrier stores.
Exactly, and they work with Verizon, which is like a huge thing in the US.
That's big time.
And it's just interesting landscape, and also really, as you said, disappointing to hear too. Like LG falling behind is a real bummer when you think about, because there's so many high performing LG phones out there that you would want to be on the same software as everybody else.
Cherlynn, when you heard about Project Treble and kind of when it finally kind of hit, made its way into the OS, if you remember in Oreo, it was an optional thing. And then with Pi, every Pi device or was it Oreo that it was every Oreo device? I can't remember, but in the beginning it was optional and then it was mandatory in the update. And so the idea was, great, this is going to really improve things across the board. Everybody's like, were you optimistic, or what were your thoughts?
I was super optimistic. I think just to clarify the number that you mentioned on Samsung's update days taken, by the way, I don't know if this might explain the 177 versus 179 days, but One UI, which seems to be a major overhaul, also happened with this Pi update. So that might be part of the reason. I don't know, but it seems like a bigger change than previous versions of TouchWiz or Samsung Experience, which is now One UI.
Right.
Back to Project Treble, though, yeah, I was super excited when I first heard about it. But then, I mean, I was skeptical because this boils down so much to the phone manufacturers themselves implementing it. And you can see that companies like OnePlus, which are smaller companies and have a lot more control over speed and like getting their quality check done faster, that these things move more quickly. Whereas like behemoths like Samsung and LG take longer, I believe, because they have so much red tape and you know, so many more lines of, I guess, protocol they have to go through. And then I'm also not surprised that LG is just slow, because in general, maybe this is blasphemous, but I have very little excitement for LG as a phone maker anymore. The phones are great, but again, OnePlus is up there right now as one of the bigger names. LG's losing its footing, if anything.
Yeah, and HTC, well, yeah. HTC lost its footing.
They're not even a player anymore, as far as I'm
concerned. Which is just kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think you're exactly right. It seems to show that, you know, I mean, and this kind of makes sense as I say it, that the challenge has not necessarily been the technical underpinnings. I mean, that is a part of the challenge, but really the biggest hurdle is getting the OEMs to commit, period, to saying, all right, it's important to us to update these phones and to update them as fast as possible. When you're talking about a company like Samsung that's supporting so many variants of so many different devices, mind you, they have the money to support the team that would be required to do this, but their priority is placed on pushing out new product, supporting probably their current flagship to a certain point, and then great, eventually that'll get a second update. You know what I mean? Like the fire under these companies to really keep things as up to date as some users would like is just not there.
Yeah, you're still buying their phones, even though they're not updating you.
Yeah. And then there is always the point that some people bring up, which is that the average user doesn't care about updates, which...
I think it's because I think we have to also look at are people like educated about updates as much as we think? Anyway,
Sure.
There's like all sorts of different variables that come into play that we don't talk about because we like to generalize everything in this world. Can I generalize about some 5G?
Yeah, sure.
Since everybody's been generalizing.
The G in 5G is for generalized, so go for it.
Yes, exactly. 5 general spectrum. So Qualcomm announced its next gen 5G modem, the Snapdragon X55. Woo! It supports all known types of 5G, as well as 4G LTE, 3G, 2G, and CDMA, because yes, we're still using those in the good old United States of America. So this chip, it's got 5G speeds up to 7 gigabits per second down. Sorry, I got stuck on the total meaning of that. And 3 gigabytes per second up. It improves on LTE speeds too, up to 2.5 gigabits per second. Excuse me. Qualcomm will sell the X55 along with a new antenna module to reduce the thickness required to support millimeter wave 5G phones. So those kind of thick phones that were coming out at we were seeing some thick phones come out at shows. Like, here's the first 5G phone. I guess this is just to kind of help thin it out a little bit. This is going to ship towards the end of 2019. So, of course, don't expect to really see anything, to see this really go live until 2020. Anyway, it's not like there really is all that much 5G infrastructure in America to really take advantage of. So let's stop getting our hopes up and just appreciate the process. This is part of the process.
Let's just enjoy LTE while it's still the main show.
It's not even in a lot of areas, it's not really LTE. It's
that's true.
Just really fast 3G.
That's true. Is there reason to get excited at this stage, do you think, Cherlynn, on 5G? Are you excited?
No. I mean, I am excited for 5G. I'm just not excited in 2019 that the rollout is going to be as widespread as they're saying it'll be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that people are going to be so inundated with marketing that says 5G in 2019, and so much of it may be false or not completely accurate.
Yeah.
That people are going to be so tired of it by the time it really rolls around. And I mean, I know lay people who aren't in tech, which is like weird for me, but they're like,
which is most
asking me why, it's just most people, and they ask me, why should I care about 5G? I was like, do you know the dramatic differences it'll make to your download times? And they're like, I don't give a,
Yep.
So I don't know that people really care, and I do, because I'm in it. I'm like, the technology is fascinating. And I'm a real nerd with these things, but the people won't be going out in droves to buy it just because they saw an ad that says 5G is everything.
Yeah.
If anything, I think the marketing is going to be like the opposite effect.
The marketing has been really bad. It's terrible around 5G, because what we're not talking about is like, we need to be talking about the surgeries that could be performed with like 5G. We need to be talking about the fact that like 5G would be helping in a lot of industrial situations. And instead of explaining this, we're using it as a marketing tactic to sell phones, which of course, I mean, do we really expect anything less from companies that sell phones? No, because it's how they make their money.
Sure.
But it completely misleads the consumer, because we're not talking about all these amazing advancements that we can do for, big picture, for humanity. I mean, think about like this Qualcomm chip. Okay, cool. It's a modem. It's not really the phone it's going to be innovative in, or rather it will be innovative in some sense. It's going to be what it can facilitate in other parts of the world. So like in, the medical, medical infrastructure, and like, this is a modem. You could just pop it into whatever they use at the hospital. They have like all this fancy new tech at the hospital. Every time I go to the doctor, it's like they have something new. I'm like, I can't keep up with it.
No, to your point, like telesurgery, right? Like if you have a neurosurgeon that's an expert in brain tumors
in
or
Texas,
something.
and someone needs it in Florida, like, it's too expensive for them to go to Texas and get the surgery, so do it over the air. And that's how you would help them. And then hopefully
combined with AR and stuff like that, hopefully, fingers crossed, this is the world we're working towards, and 5G lays a really good groundwork for all of that communications, because you don't want, the last thing you want is for your surgeon to be midway through an AR surgery and then the connection just starts buffering or something. Like
on your heart.
On your brain or your heart. Like the 5G's promise is great, like Flo said, but like, it's a long ways from now, because the spec that we've agreed on, 5G NR, is still based on mobile, for it's really cell phone heavy right now, and it's future iterations of 5G that's going to bring in all these different like parts of connectivity and stuff that we have to wait for. And I think that pre-hyping, again, like I've said earlier, is just going to hurt the cause.
Pre-hype. I like that. No pre-hype.
Down with the pre-hype.
Just say just say no to pre-hype. They tell they can go hype.
Yeah,
and you're like,
well, of course they're going to.
There's nothing.
And everyone's like, wait a minute, but I can download my music pretty fast already. Why do I need faster? It's bigger than that, but connecting with the consumer to convince them of this. Going the surgery route,
it could save your life.
Is not quite as, you know what I mean? Like that doesn't quite have the fire that consumer
yes, it would if they
marketing
would just put the right marketing team behind
require.
it. I'm telling you, they want to come at us with emotion.
Yeah,
put emotion to this. Then.
Okay. You're right. That would be very emotional.
It's a rainstorm. You need a doctor.
Speaking of emotion, Ricky Damasceno, I'm probably mispronouncing your last name, on Twitter said, "Hey everyone, I'm a Brazilian living in the UK, and it's kind of hard to watch you guys live, but I catch up on Castbox as soon as I can. Just wanted to point out that I love the idea of Android Kingdom. Haha, the correct pronunciation is Kingdom. So I'll just spell it out because it's kind of hard to know what he's talking about. We're always positing what the heck is going to be Android Q, because it really doesn't make any sense. Quindim. Kingdom. He says. Kingdom. So Android Kingdom. Could be. He says, by the way, delicious. I'm willing to try it. Sure. Jason, another fan, wrote in to say, I know you guys have been bantering around some questions or some guesses about the Q name that Google might come up with pretty soon. Well, I would like to propose Quasar for the name. Quasar is a fantastic candy bar from Trader Joe's. That would be an interesting partnership.
This is the Milky Way knockoff.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Quasar is a balance of milk and dark chocolate flavors and thick, stretchy caramel.
Yeah,
it is a
and nougat.
fantastic candy bar.
Yeah, so this is
Quasar.
the Milky Way wannabe.
Okay. That would be an interesting Trader Joe's collaboration with Google for a version of Android. I don't see that one happening.
I'm
But
just glad it's not a Quest bar. I'm sorry.
not what?
A Quest
Those are
bar, one of
awful.
those protein workout
Those
bars.
are awful. They taste
can't.
like a powdered brick.
Oh,
Like you bite into them and they just like crumble in your mouth. It's
Quest
just
bar.
protein bars don't have to be bad, people.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
would just be depressing if it was a Quest bar.
Like Android's bulking up.
Oh my god,
Android's
that would be
getting-
the cutest
Android's
little
getting
Android figurine.
swole.
A little Android figurine, yeah, with little like muscles. I mean,
Yes.
a little Hulk droid. Oh, I like
okay.
imagining it.
All right. Well, we've got more. Who the heck knows where this is going to land? It's probably going to be a while before we know. We'll continue to try and find, because I feel like if we keep digging, we will find the obvious one and be like, there it is.
I think
Or
it's
maybe
just
we
going to
won't.
be Q. I think it's just going to be Q.
Oh.
Yeah.
Guess we'll find out. Roid Droid, says Burke. Roid Droid. Oh boy. That's where it would head.
So if it's just Q, would it be good to have a James Bond tie-in?
Oh, possibly. But that's not a tasty treat. Like, I think at that point, not as far as I know anyway.
It's not a tasty treat.
You guys, it's not tasty.
But it's cool tech related.
Yeah, James Bond is not.
I don't know if anyone knows the answer to that question. I
mean, he's handsome,
It's
but
only
he's
going to go
not-
downhill from here.
Yeah.
Let's thank the sponsor of this episode, then we'll get into some hardware news. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by WordPress. Everybody has a WordPress site. What would you do if you could do anything? You could build a website about it. That's basically what WordPress is all about. It allows you to do anything with your site at WordPress.com. With powerful site building tools, thousands of themes, tons of themes that you can just kind of launch right from and customize around how you like. And 24/7 support from real experts. WordPress.com lets anyone pursue whatever it is they love by launching a site that's free to start. And then, of course, you have room to grow. WordPress.com was started so that anyone could publish their ideas. So there's no 2-week trials, no hidden fees. And WordPress users own their content forever. It's portable data. WordPress.com is built to grow with you, to get you where you want to be tomorrow. They have a wonderful customer support team that's made of actual WordPress experts. They're standing by to help you 24 hours a day, including weekends. The WordPress platform is so flexible, so powerful that some of the biggest companies on earth are using it to build their websites and have for a very long time. And millions of people use WordPress.com every day to turn their dreams into reality. It's easy, it's flexible. I mean, you can do so much with this stuff. WordPress is amazing. Go to WordPress.com/allaboutandroid and check it out for yourself. You'll get 15% off any new plan purchase. That's WordPress.com/allaboutandroid for 15% off your new website. And WordPress.com/allaboutandroid. That's the site to remember. And we thank WordPress for their support of this show and the Twit Network. All right, it's time to jump into some hardware news.
We have a lot of Samsung stuff going on this week, but before we get into like the main event,
Yes.
or just to kind of like posit about the main event because it's
It
not
hasn't
happening
happened
until
yet.
tomorrow. Because every Android manufacturer loves to just do everything the day after we film.
Yes.
First, we're going to talk about a new tablet from Samsung. So this is the thinnest ever tablet and is one of the first with Bixby built in. Now, Cherlynn, I'm of the understanding that you have had time with this little baby. I want to hear.
Aw.
I want to hear your perspective, and I want to hear about this tablet that Samsung calls Essential, because that's why it has an E in the name. G5 or the
Yeah.
S5e.
I'm just looking at the article screenshot right now, noticing there's 103 comments, which means it did really well, which is weird. I did not, unfortunately, see this tablet in person, but I'm glad that I wrote an article that made you think that I did, because I must have described it real vividly for you. It was like a briefing call, and then they were describing the product to us at length. But yeah, I mean, based on the specs, based on the dimensions they provided, it is super thin. But yet the E stands for essential, so don't expect like a high-end processor in there. Like the Tab S4 has, I think, an 835 Snapdragon 835 CPU, whereas this one has like a 600 level Snapdragon processor. It's still has a decent screen, good multimedia experience, which is what they're positioning this tablet as for. It's not going to be able to do like super, pro level multitasking. You're not looking at the Tab S4's like DeX multitasking prowess here. Even though you can still use a Tab S5e with DeX, you're not going to be able to say run 10 tabs at once. You might want to, cut it down to maybe 2. But it is a lot cheaper. It's $399 starting price versus the $499. I mean, the almost $650 actually for the Tab S4.
I was gonna say, yeah, this doesn't have an S Pen support, so it's a little cheaper, I'm assuming, because of that. But yeah, I think the reason it's doing so well is because we're not getting a lot of tablets in the Android world, and so anytime there is one, it's like, whoa, what was that? Whoa, everybody go look at it. What is it? I don't know.
It's really light in tablets these days on Android. And I mean, is Android a good tablet OS? Are we back to that discussion? Because it really seems like if it were, there would be a little bit more of a market for it, and there just doesn't seem to be. It seems to have evaporated.
There isn't, which is why we look to Samsung, because they do all these
they
special
actually do it pretty decent.
They like have software for it, and they do all the cool gesture stuff and the S Pen stuff and the battery stuff. And so $400 for the Wi-Fi version come in. What is this? Quarter two of 2019. So
and Bixby built in, because if you're a Samsung, you've bought in fully to the Samsung ecosystem, you might appreciate having Bixby somewhere other than your phone. Although I have my own, reservations about Bixby as an assistant, but some people still rely on it. And if you've, again, bought in fully, you have a Samsung refrigerator and a Samsung TV and the Smart Things hub, you might find that useful. But yeah, tablets, like you guys said, are few. If they're not trying to be laptop replacements, then they're super budget, kid-friendly laptops. So there's not a real demand for the mainstream multimedia viewing slate anymore. And this is going, this should be good for those people who are still looking for a new, up-to-date one.
Sure.
10 inches.
Yeah.
That's a big screen.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Not a bad size screen. And I mean, the resolution, 2560 by 1600. So
perfect for propping up,
look pretty decent.
Taking a nice long bath.
Four 8kg speakers.
Yeah. So they're
That's going to fill up the bathroom with sound.
If you have some nice acoustics
Even though
in
it's
there.
the thinnest tablet, so there isn't a whole lot of throw on those speakers, so you're not going to get a lot of bass.
Laminate really does magic in some areas.
Wi-Fi version 400, LTE version coming later this year. So obviously Samsung did not think that this tablet deserved to be in their big announcement.
No.
I don't understand. This seems to go toe to toe with the Galaxy Fold.
Because everybody's going to buy it at Costco. It's going to be right there. The first thing when you walk into Costco, it's right there is the Samsung tablets, and you're like, oh, hey, we came for bread, but you know what? I'll
get an Android tablet.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Or they're going to give it free if you buy a 2-year plan with your next.
Exactly.
Yeah, very, very possible.
What goes better with your big phone? A really big tablet.
There you go. Samsung's other big event happens tomorrow. Realize the tablet we just talked about, that was a big event. This is another big event, so Samsung's just churning them out right now. We're going to obviously, so this is tomorrow morning.
Yes,
tomorrow,
it is.
Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific.
Yes.
Samsung holds their Unpacked event in San Francisco. Right, and they're doing this away from Mobile World Congress, which is
on the West Coast.
That's a departure, right?
They came
is this
here.
their first time doing that?
I don't know if it's the first time ever, but it is the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
past few years have been in New York, or they've been at MWC,
Right.
and so ever so slightly annoying for people like me who have to fly right out to Barcelona after Unpacked.
Right.
So that's not gonna
Lucky
be-
you.
Oh yeah, my stress level is at an all-time high, and that's saying something.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Galaxy S10 family is what we're going to expect to hear about tomorrow of a number of things. So, and I think we're hearing 3 versions of the S10. It's like the S10, the S10 Plus, and then the S10e or something like that. I can't remember if it's E, but
Yes,
it's like a
supposed
lesser
to be,
version of it.
Yeah, I think that's also an essential version
Oh, okay.
to
Maybe
pair
that's
with your
what.
essential tablet.
There we go.
I
That's
mean, the
starting to make
marketing
sense.
does seem to indicate that, right? And their
Yeah.
ads, they leaked an ad today.
Yes.
Yeah.
TV2 in Norway, which is the biggest major this channel in Norway network there, accidentally aired a
What's up,
Samsung
Norway?
commercial for the Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy Buds, their Bluetooth earbuds, which I'm sure we will find out more about tomorrow. And in that ad, basically confirmed, if we didn't already know, because this is a crazily leaked set of devices, confirmed the hole punch display, the ultrasonic in-display fingerprint reader, the triple camera system, of course, reverse wireless charging. Also shows that the buds, the Galaxy Buds, could be charged by being placed on the back of the S10, so through wireless charging, through that
There's a
reverse
lot of
charging.
Buzzwords.
I know this is a lot
Yeah,
of
I'm
buzzwords.
sorry. I just was here. You were saying all the
I
features.
mean,
and I'm
it's
like,
all Greek.
Whoa, buzz, buzz, buzz.
Right.
It's it's really
Trademark,
strong.
trademark,
It's
trademark.
really strong with this one.
Yeah. Well,
this-
they've got to have their features.
Well, this is
that
why
no one else has.
I think it's worth mentioning they are having it at the Bill Graham,
Oh, okay.
which is like a huge,
Yeah, it's
huge
pretty-
venue.
pretty sizable place.
U2 is played there.
Who knows? Maybe U2 will play there tomorrow. Maybe there will be a U2 album that is pre-installed on your S10 when you
Putting
get
that
it.
into the world. We don't want that in the world.
Because that never happens, right? U2's never been involved in
Listen,
something like
this
that
is-
before.
We don't use Apple products for this reason.
Samsung really wants to be Apple, though, so I could totally
Oh,
see it.
you're
Samsung strikes a
right.
deal with
Yeah.
U2. They're like, we can do that too.
Yeah.
Galaxy Fold, or whatever the heck it's going to be called. Do you think it's going to be called Galaxy Fold? Sound like a lot of people are circling that as the name.
That name seems a little off to me. I don't know.
Seems weird to me too.
Yeah, the Galaxy, I don't know, seems too on the nose. X might be more like their style.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this headline here, F or X, right? X seems more like it because it's in line with the 10. And again, we said that the Samsung likes to copy Apple, right?
Yep.
And X does have sort of a folding, diagonal, crisscrossing shape to it that might imply a folding screen. So that seems like a more possible name. I have no clue though, and I really don't think that device is anywhere near ready. If anything, I mean, we might catch a glimpse of it like we did at their developer conference last year.
Hopefully they show more than they showed at the developer conference last year.
Yeah.
Last year was like we're not showing you anything other than the
That
fact that this is a screen
was,
that folds.
yeah.
This year show us a little bit more. I'd be really surprised if they came out with it again and they didn't show you more. Like, here's the same thing you saw last year. We're still not ready. I doubt they're going to do that. So we're probably going to find
You want to put money
more.
down on it?
Ooh.
Yeah, you want to know what I got in my wallet?
Do you have any cash? I don't carry
Fat
any.
wad of receipts.
I was gonna say I'll pay you on Android Pay.
That's all I have. I don't. Fresh out of cash. Sorry.
Stick out your wallet.
Prop comedy. You got to do it every once in a while. We also know that we're probably going to see some wearables. This
yes.
also is courtesy of Samsung leaking something because their official app update to the Samsung Gear app, now called the Galaxy Wearable app, apparently had parts inside of the app that refer to Galaxy Watch Active, the Galaxy Fit, and the Galaxy Fit E.
This is
3 devices that do not exist
It's
yet.
gonna be a big. It's gonna be a big Samsung show. You know
Yeah.
what? This is the
This could be
smartest
like
way to
5
do
hours.
it. Do it right before MWC. Take up everybody's time for it.
Set the scene.
Just completely set the scene. And now, this is what we're all gonna be thinking about. I mean, I don't even know how to think about MWC at this point. What does it even matter?
If in a world where Samsung has an event, it doesn't matter. Mobile World Congress does not matter.
Well, okay,
but
but I do mean that honestly too, because remember at Mobile World Congress we're saying Mobile World phones. not American phones.
Oh, that's true. Okay. All right. Okay, I'll give you that. Point for Flo.
It's also interesting that this year at this MWC, Microsoft's going to be there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So that, I think, is something I'm looking forward to.
Microsoft going to release a phone running on Android?
No. They'll probably announce like a cloud. They'll probably do something with a cloud.
Yeah.
I think the big speculation is that there will be a HoloLens too. But
that's right. Yep.
Given the 5G tie-in with MWC.
Oh, yes.
Maybe, but we don't know.
Now surgeons will be wearing HoloLens, and it'll be transported.
We were
over
actually
5G.
talking about this at dinner the other night. That's why I brought it up as a as a conversation piece.
So Mobile World Congress, of course, starts. Well, you're flying. It starts this weekend. So next week we're going to be talking about it.
This weekend for journalists.
Next week's one of those episodes, man. Mobile World Congress and all the Samsung news and who knows what.
I'm
the heck
drinking
else.
coffee next week.
Yeah, I might have to as well. Live coverage, like I said, begins tomorrow here on the Twit Network. Leo and I are going to be doing live on the stream coverage at 11 a.m. Pacific, twit.tv/live. Flo, you're going to be at the event.
Yes,
You're going to be rocking it there. Hopefully getting your hands on some devices.
I'm going to get my hands on devices.
Yeah?
I am.
Good.
I am.
You're going to fold that phone if they let you. And you're going to be there, of course, Cherlynn, as well, right?
I'm not going to be in San Francisco. I will be live blogging it with our team. We will have someone at the San Francisco event doing our live blog photos. But yeah, no, I will be in an airport live blogging.
Oh, okay. Getting ready for your Barcelona trip.
Oh, bless you.
Make sure you need some ham on
Many
while
blessings
you're in
to you.
Barcelona.
Thank you.
May the blessings of the ham just cover you and give you the strength that you need and the sustenance that you need to do all of this work that is about to come.
Yeah, that is, yes.
It is my blessing to you.
Of which there is a lot of
MWC blessings. Should we talk about some other things that are probably going to be teased at MWC just to get Cherlynn started on already?
Sure.
On track?
Sure. We'll give you some pre-homework to do.
So yeah, sure. One last little tidbit that's coming out of what's coming is TCL is announcing not one, not two, three, or four, but 5 foldable things.
And I don't know if they're necessarily announcing this.
Yeah.
This is more like a patent something or other that CNET got a hold, patent image filings, renders of the devices.
But 5 of them.
So
again, we've got 2 tablets. So one folds in and the other folds out.
They're just doing everything.
This one folds out. And then we've got 2 smartphones. One that also folds in, the other one that also folds out. And then we have a phone that bends into a smartwatch, kind of like the 90s Snap bracelets, which quickly had a comeback several years ago at many startup parties.
Yeah, those Snap bracelets are happening in our house.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our
so you're
girls.
having a
I don't
revival.
know.
I see elementary
nothing
school.
intentional.
Well, I
Just
see
happened.
elementary school has, brought back the 90s. I see.
Yeah?
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
90s is
Making
big
its
right
way.
now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm trying to capitalize on it myself. It's neither here nor there. So that's, there's no clue on these final designs. It's just kind of, there's 5 foldable things coming from TCL.
TCL of all companies.
Well, I mean, they make TVs, so they make screens. And so why wouldn't we expect TCL to figure out how to fold its screens when the things it makes has screens on them?
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, TCL did show off a vaguely prototypey hole punch display at CES. They're going big on their display tech for their phones this year. I mean, they're I think trying to make a bigger effort to kind of unify their brands, not to be too marketing speak, but TCL has Alcatel under its umbrella as well as BlackBerry, but I think they're actually going to make their own phones with their own name. I don't know, it's a little confusing, but looking at those renders on CNET, by the way, I don't understand a folding phone that folds in on itself. Like, doesn't that have some sort of interaction issues where like the screen touches the screen and it's I don't know, maybe I'm like it seems weird. I don't know, maybe they found a way around it.
Maybe it
phone
stops
inception.
Itself,
it just
stops
keeps
itself
like going
before
Or it just keeps
contact or something.
Yeah, there
that's
has
a
to
good point.
be. But
Maybe there's bumpers on it or something. I don't know.
This does seem pretty experimental, though. It looks like they haven't settled on a design and are just like trying to, patent book everything that they can until they decide on what form they want to have their device take. So yeah, I certainly don't expect them to actually release like 5 different folding or bendable screen devices. I'd expect maybe 2 or 3. Yeah, but TCL is going ham this year.
Yeah, apparently. They want you to know they can do everything. They are good at everything.
I mean, it's good to be multifaceted, in this world, in this time.
Yeah, in this moment of smartphone, what is the word that I'm looking for? Boredom.
Oh.
TCL is coming out the other end and going,
bored.
All right,
We're bored.
Let's see.
Maybe we're bored here, but I feel like consumers aren't as bored as we are. I feel like they're pretty excited by all this stuff.
Do you think consumers are excited about
I don't think they know
displays?
anything about foldable phones like we think they do, but what I mean to say is that we might be bored at this stage right now.
Yeah.
The way phones are, but I feel like consumers are excited.
Are happy. They're satisfied.
They're very
satisfied.
happy. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They're
Okay, I
satisfied
see
with
what you
what they're
mean.
getting right now. The product is giving them what they wanted. And
Okay, that's a very fair point.
Yeah.
You're probably right. People are
And
just
so
like,
what we see
I
is
need
like
a phone to be a phone,
boredom
and it
and
does
it being
that.
tepid is actually like a really well temperatured pool, and people are just really enjoying it and just hanging out in it. And we're like, where's the waves? And they're like, no, we don't want waves. It's like really nice right now. I just really took that metaphor and just ran with it. Thank you, everyone, for letting me do
All right,
that.
Flo's gonna jump in the pool, and I'm gonna take a break.
It's because the sun came back after like all these days of rain, and so I'm like,
You're thinking about spring. Spring isn't
I'm
for another
sorry.
month.
This is an
Okay.
annoying California thing. I apologize. I'm showing my West Coastness right now.
Let's take a break and thank the sponsor of this episode, and then we'll get into some app news. This episode of All About Android is brought to you by AfterShokz. AfterShokz, actually really cool. I've got them right here. These are earphones. Oh, sorry. I'll just put them on first to kind of demonstrate to you that you don't put these in your ears, right? They rest outside of your ears, and bone conduction actually gives you the sound. It uses a patented bone conduction technology. The headphones, like I said, they don't go inside your ear, so they're not going to hurt your ear canal. Sometimes you put in those in-ear headphones, and it kind of hurts your ear canal. It doesn't fit quite right. It's not going to constantly slip out. They just kind of stay in place, and you get the sound through, like I said, bone conduction. They feature unbelievable comfort. They rest gently just outside your ear, like I showed you. Produce sound by sending those mini vibrations through your cheekbones to your inner ear. It bypasses entirely your eardrum. It has a titanium wraparound headband. It's super lightweight. You hardly even feel these when you're wearing them. And they're also flexible, so you get extra durability and, of course, portability. You get crystal clear phone calls through here that you can take with the onboard mic. Music like you've never heard before with AfterShokz. Premium pitch actually guarantees a premium audio experience with wide dynamic range and actually gives you some nice rich bass as well. You get wireless Bluetooth 4.1 connectivity and convenient multi-point pairing. They are IP55 certified, so they are capable of repelling sweat, dust, moisture, so you can wear these to the gym and do your workout. You can wear them out in bad weather and they're not going to get ruined. 6 hours of continuous music and calls on a single charge with 10-day standby time, and it only takes an hour and a half to charge these up fully. You get a hassle-free 2-year warranty, and AfterShokz are safer for driving really any outdoor activities because they actually allow you to hear what's going on around you. That's what's so perfect about these. You're not cutting yourself off from the world, right? They're sitting outside of your ear, so you still hear everything as well as the music or your call or whatever layered on top. So you can hear the traffic, you can hear the emergency vehicles. You don't feel like you're isolated. They're perfect if you're out running or biking, perfect for all that stuff. Order an AfterShokz tech bundle now, which includes Trex Air, a pop socket, large portable storage case, portable power bank, and travel tumbler insulator. All you have to do is visit aaa.aftershokz.com and use code AAA at checkout, and you'll get $50 off. This offer is valid in the U.S. only. That's aaa.aftershokz.com and use code AAA. And just a quick note, AfterShokz, AfterShokz. So do that, aaa.aftershokz.com. Use code AAA, and we thank AfterShokz for their support of this show. And now it's time for a little bit of app news. Oh, fun news today, you guys. Tons of apps have been discovered tracking user location even when users opt out of it. Isn't that great? Yay. I feel like this is happening like every week now. Every week there's a new report like this. Research from International Computer Science Institute shared with CNET that shows that these apps are linking users to an advertiser ID, which is kind of an anonymous ID that you can cycle through. If you wanted to like discard your advertiser ID, you can actually get a new one, and any of the tracking or any of the information gathered on the one you used before is disassociated, and you start fresh again. These apps are basically linking that advertising ID along with other identifying markers on the device, the Mac, the IMEI, the Android ID. Google specifically prohibits the combination of taking the advertiser ID and pairing it with hardware IDs for ad tracking, especially when there is no user consent. But just at its core, that act is prohibited. Google recommends that you only, as an app developer, only use the advertising ID because it's safer, it's more respectful for the user. As of now, I think it's 17 or 18,000 apps and counting that they're finding this is happening.
17,000 apps.
There's a lot of apps in the Play Store, and there's only a certain number that have even been tested. So who knows how many apps are doing this. But the top 5 offending apps by download, Clean Master, there's a name that always comes up when you're talking about these things, 1 billion installs. Subway Surfers is a game that you've probably seen, 1 billion installs. Flipboard, which on some phones is pre-installed.
On Samsung phones, it's pre-installed.
There you go, 500 million installs. My Talking Tom, which is
always in the top 10.
Yep. Temple Run 2. Names that you've definitely heard of. Angry Birds. Rovio actually told CNET it's investigating, but it hasn't found that this was happening on its end so far. Cheetah Mobile, who's behind Clean Master, said it aims to, quote, adhere to all relevant Google Play policies and GDPR requirements, and they are investigating as well. All this, and then I just kind of come back to the defeated, like, yeah, I know. This stuff happens all the time. What do you do? What can you do?
Should we segue into the next little piece?
I think they're related enough that you might as well just jump right into it.
So let's get into this real quick. So Google posted its year review of the Play Store, security in the Play Store, that is. And apparently app rejections have increased 55% after tightening its review process. 55%. That is more than half, folks. App suspensions increased 66% due to automated protection like Google Play Protect, which it scans in the background every night when you go to sleep, when you plug in your phone. As it's charging, it's doing all that little scan, making sure the apps on your phone aren't like going in and doing, bad stuff. And so Play Protect scans 50 billion apps per day, including apps in third-party stores.
That is nuts.
So it found 66% of the things that it was scanning found they were bad. So Google says 80% of major policy violations are by repeat offenders. Sorry, I wonder if Cheetah Mobile is a repeat offender because they've been. I
feel like
wonder,
they're there time and time again, right?
We talk about them all the time on this show, and that's why I bring it up. So often. Then they buy developer accounts on the black market to get back in. So these developers, they're getting kicked out because they're not adhering to, terms of service, terms of use, whatever. And they're going kind of in the back channels to try and get back into the Play Store,
and they're pulling it out.
As a consumer makes me feel really uncomfortable. I just want to end, it makes me feel really uncomfortable.
that they're getting
offending developers are getting back in through like some back channel.
Yeah, well, and I think Google also kind of pointed out they're getting better at detecting when that happens, at being able to analyze patterns around that to be like, okay, so you've got a new account. Their systems are so smart on the back end that they say they are more able now than ever before to know that that's obviously this person that we kicked out over here, and that they aren't a new, developer account. But none. I mean, so they're kind of two different stories in the sense that one of these is really bad and involves tons of top name apps and services, not just weird little obscure ones that you've never heard of before, tons of them that you have heard of before. And then also Google saying, yeah, but we're doing really good at this. And maybe both are true. What do you think, Cherlynn?
I am so depressed. I just feel like the reason I'm depressed is because I'm not at all in any way surprised by the fact that like the apps are still tracking you despite you saying no. I just feel like I'm constantly being tracked as long as I download an app onto my phone. Yeah. And I have had situations where I will try to I'm testing out an app for work, and they're like, oh, we'll take a photo of your face without makeup or whatever, and it's only used for diagnostic purposes because it's like one of those beauty apps or something. And then the next thing I know, my profile is created with my bare face, like horrible looking, scary ass, who the hell is that face, as my profile avatar, and I'm like, no, I did not ask for this, and there's no way to delete it from. Anyway, I am digressing. This is just like one example of the many ways I've felt betrayed by apps that aren't supposed to be tracking you, that say they aren't. So I'm not surprised, and I don't think that Google is. I think Google patting itself on the back here is a little bit. It's a little just kind of like naive. The numbers that they're presenting are like up 66% or like up 50%. And sure, you're improving from a previous period, but that's not the benchmark you should set. If you set yourself like a low bar and you've improved a lot over that low bar and it's still a very low bar, that's not great.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
I think that Google, in trying to chase app developers in the past to catch up to iOS, has created a lot of leeway for these developers to flout a lot of the rules. So I just feel bad. I feel like I understand why you want to do this, but now you got to kind of crack down on these like bad actors.
So they move fast and broke stuff, is what you're saying.
So, and then in the case of this, so if these are apps that are in the Play Store, and these apps within their code are actually slurping up the advertising ID, which is apparently okay to do, and then also slurping up the MAC address, the IMEI, the Android ID. If these apps have access to these things, like I would imagine, Google should have some sort of way to be able to determine, with this amount of apps doing this, what that looks like in its analysis.
You mean the machine should have learned by now?
Or they should be working on that right now, because if this is truly prohibited, and Google has said that the combining of these data points is a prohibited practice, then this is the kind of thing that you crack down on, right? And that it should also be rejecting, or at least reaching out. Maybe there's a misunderstanding. I'm giving some of these developers a huge benefit of the doubt, but maybe there's some misunderstanding where they say, "Oh, well, we didn't realize that these things could be
an undetected. It could be like a thing that just slips under the radar. Like we don't know, because it is interesting to see so many apps have it."
And not just so many apps, so many really big, well-known name, apps.
I mean, I think the fact that Rovio was like, oh, yeah, we didn't know we're going to look into this is like, is this really an issue that's so easily overlooked? And is it something that could just be old code just sitting in the background? I don't know.
Or is that time for the PR?
Or they have the legal fees already. You know what? It's fine. We'll just pay for it.
We knew this day would come.
Yeah. All right. Okay. How much do we owe you?
We've got our kitty set aside. Yeah.
Our Kickstarter is healthy. Then there you go.
Right. So, and it's always hard when we talk about stories like this, because, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, well, that sucks, doesn't it? Anyways, this next app.
Yeah, we'll continue. And then we're going to have an app arena. It's
well, and obviously there are apps that don't do all this stuff, but it's draining. Week after week, it's draining to always see these stories and realize I don't know.
It is draining.
It's not the end of the world. The sky is not falling, but yet at the same time, it's just kind of sucks.
It is not the end of the world, but it's very bad, because we are talking here in our circle of niche, and we're not I mean, we have to consider the people who are going to be affected by this, which are the dozens and dozens and thousands of Samsung users out there.
Sure. Yeah.
Of which there are a lot, using
which
their
there are a
really
lot.
nice, fancy, expensive phones with like all the fingerprint scanners and the lenses, and then like
And
they're
all their
also their
Bixby.
IMEI is being tracked, and like they know
Yeah.
their Google account. I mean, come on, that's kind of crappy.
Yeah,
Very.
yeah, they're all over there putting their back button on the other side. Good point, Victor. It's true. Samsung, what are you doing? Did they fix that in One UI, by the way? Did they put the
We
back
should
button
probably
on the other
update.
side?
I think we need to update our Samsung phones.
Yeah, I know.
Because
You're right.
the thing is, we have these phones.
Yeah, no, I have the
We
S9
just-
and I have not
They've just
updated
kind
it.
of been off.
Yeah.
I think that the rollout is like limited for now. Is their international phones have the new One UI, and then Xfinity Mobile for some reason has it. But it's
Okay.
not.
That's an
fully
exclusive.
Yeah.
Dang.
rolled out. I was like, oh.
All right. Score for
Okay.
Xfinity users.
Yeah, but then you get throttled, and they like charge you a bunch of money, and it's just they gotta
That's
toss
a long
us
way to
phone
go
once
for
in
One
a
UI.
while.
That's all I'm saying. Finally, the long national nightmare is over. YouTube Music
Yes.
is now officially supported by Android Auto.
Finally,
so
we can
you
safely drive and use YouTube
Yes.
Music. Thank you.
You can put that feature request to bed. It finally happened. This has been a recurring theme on this show. And I don't even know if it's like our own champion theme. It's like I've
It's
had a lot of
unsafe.
people written in about it.
How can you
Like,
ask
why,
me
why,
to move
why?
to your music service and I can't safely use you behind the wheel? That's wrong.
So is anyone here using YouTube Music?
No.
We,
not.
Anytime the story comes up, I got to ask. No one's using
Yeah,
it?
Cherlynn, what are you using?
Girl, I don't drive.
No, I mean, what are you using to listen to music?
Oh, Spotify.
See?
Spotify.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's very. It's
the
got a good
job done.
library. Yeah,
They give you a
exactly.
playlist every week, and then at the
Yeah.
end of the year, and then when you are in a
I mean,
nostalgic mood,
I'm getting kind of worried. Like, I really like play music.
I
and
wouldn't know. My
I'm-
dad's a YouTube Music subscriber.
Yeah, but does
Yeah.
he? Well, okay.
Yeah, because like I feel like overseas is going to become a huge thing. Because
YouTube Music is?
Yes, because do you
Okay.
know how hard it is to find foreign music like on Spotify? Do you know how hard it is to find Romanian pop on Spotify? It's way easier to find on YouTube.
I find my Romanian pop music on. No, I don't actually.
Well, I'm trying to bring it, like, I mean, honestly, and remember, like, Google's user base is very international. Like, that's where they're making up a lot of these numbers, right? Like, iPhone is king here in the US, but everywhere else, people are using Android. And YouTube is such a big deal because you can find every music video from any decade, like, at your fingertips. This is why MTV is just all reality TV now. And so is VH1, because you don't need a place for music videos anymore. They just put them on the phone. And some of them are fan made, so you can watch stock footage of people nuzzling and like, get into it or something. I don't know where I'm going this week.
I love it when you go there, though, Flo.
Yeah, when Flo's having a day, you clearly know when my brain is a
Stock
little dead.
footage of people nuzzling. I love it. It's and I mean the big thing on YouTube Music is really about these playlists, right? Like, I don't know. I guess
Wait, is this
YouTube Music
music
just
that you're showing us?
Yeah.
This looks a
Just
lot
like
like Spotify.
it just confuses me.
Yeah, it is YouTube Music though, but it looks
Yeah.
just like Spotify.
Yeah, it has the exact same like cool playlists, and here's like a nice artist. Like same, the little covers look the same as on Spotify that they do for the playlists.
Alt rock motivation. This is a playlist.
Can you
Get
take
pumped up with
me
these energetic and hard
higher?
rocking alternative hits from Imagine Dragons, White Stripes. Yeah, I don't know. I'd never think to pull it out. Maybe next time I'm on a road trip, I will and like play a radio station, see if it's any good. I don't know. I'm just confused by it. I don't know why I need it.
My dad likes it.
I think the reason I'll need it is because Google Play Music's going to go away, and I will cry. And then when I get over that, I will try this for like a day or two.
And then
I'll
we'll see you
probably
on
end up-
Spotify.
Yeah, I'll probably be on Spotify.
And then you'll get a family account, and then everybody in the family will have their little Spotify.
it's fine, but Spotify doesn't have the intermingling of your own library, and that's a big miss for me.
I thought it does.
Does it?
Well, it lets you connect to a local storage.
Oh, so
on
now
your
I have
computer.
to have a server running to access my music.
I don't know.
Well, even if you have your local storage on one device, you can't access it remotely.
That's
Oh,
why. Yeah,
right.
that's why I was like, actually, never mind, because
Oh,
I
I
just
see.
remembered. We're
I
talking
see.
about the phones
Yeah.
here. This is all about Android.
Yeah,
Okay.
not about PCs.
I mean, and at the end of the day, everyone seems to love Spotify, so I'd probably get used to it. I'd probably be fine with it. But
Yeah, they
I'm
like,
starting to hate Spotify. I'm sorry.
oh, are you? What do you hate about it?
The app's getting really slow.
Yeah.
Its casting feature isn't working as
Yes.
well on my Echo as well as on my home. So I don't know. There are some problems that are starting to surface, and I'm not 100% happy.
And how long have you been a user of Spotify?
God, years.
Years,
At
okay.
least 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
yeah, I've been noticing it too. The casting has been crashing a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it just stops midway. I'm like,
That's no fun.
And they've
That'll
been-
crash the party.
Yeah, because they're squeezing so much like album stuff into their playlist, so they take over the album art with like a short video clip of the artist's MTV or the artist's art video, and so that slows down the app even more. I don't need my app so bloated. I just want you to play me music. I don't want
Right.
to see it like Ariana Grande's neon signs flashing when I listen to like Seven Rings or something. I don't need that.
I don't need the lyrics all the time either. Like, you
Yeah.
don't need to always scroll the lyrics.
Like a music app should just play music, or at least just give the option to make it
go into
a
simple
dumb
mode.
music player.
I
Yeah,
want it
simple
like a
mode.
simple mode.
Yeah.
You just like
Yeah.
tap into.
And I think the YouTube music app, if I'm not mistaken, here, let me jump in
it has
there
a
and
secret
see.
simple mode.
I think it does.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think I remember we talked about it on the
Here,
show.
I'm on the settings, Victor, if you want to take it. Let's see here. Where was it? I know I was looking at this earlier. I know it's in here somewhere. What is it? Audio quality? No. Downloads, is it? Oh, I see. It's just on downloads. Video quality, audio only. So you can but that's only downloads. I don't know. I just don't need my music player to always play music videos. I don't care about music videos, but that's just me. I'm old.
Should we?
I don't need no damn music videos. Get off my lawn. Flo.
Let's read an email.
Thanks.
So this one comes from Ron.
Oh, Ron, is
Not
that
our
you?
Ron, not our
okay.
Ron.
Okay.
Ron from Michigan. That's MI, right? Michigan. I just changed over to the Pixel 3 XL from my Galaxy S9 Plus. $450 off at Target Mobile. Excellent deal if it's still available. What I'm really missing, though, is Samsung Pass, saving all my passwords for my apps. Looking for a free alternative. It would be nice if Google did this natively, but I'm willing to try something else. I just miss having the password saved for apps I use regularly. Any ideas would be greatly appreciated. Keep up the great work. Thanks. Thanks, Ron. We will try our best to keep up the great work. So there is the Genie platform. I see you linked here, the Genie platform.
Well, yeah, it's over here actually.
So-
The Google Smart Lock. Google has it.
Yes, right. It's
It's called
integrated.
Google. Yeah, it's Google Smart Lock.
It's integrated into Google Chrome.
It's
though.
right there, man. You don't need to look very far. It's embedded in there. It works across Android and Chrome. You can see your password vault by going to passwords.google.com. So when you got Google Smart Lock for passwords running on your Android device, yeah, it will capture your password as you're entering it in. It'll save it to your password vault. It'll do the auto insert. The way that you're probably used to with Samsung Pass. I've not used Samsung Pass personally, so I don't know how that integrates. But I imagine
didn't
it's
use
a
it-
password manager.
I didn't
so.
use it because I use the Google Smart Lock feature, and I use it on Chrome so that it is cross-platform.
Yeah.
Chrome browser. You can actually get this data, or you can take care of this setting in the Chrome browser, which
Yeah.
is really nice.
Yeah, it's there in the Chrome browser as well. Yeah, and that's kind of the beauty of it also, is that it's not just password management on your Android device. It does work into Android apps. It does work into Chrome on Android.
It'll
but it saves
suggest-
into Chrome, so anywhere you
Yeah.
go, it's tied to your account and helps.
And
you
I
out.
was going to say, it will suggest a nice, strong password for you.
Yes.
And then save it for you when you're signing up for a new account, which sometimes I use, and then sometimes I forget the password, and then I change it again. But it doesn't matter because I'm changing it to this very, very difficult alphanumeric.
Yeah. Right.
or whatever.
That you'll never remember.
Yeah.
And yeah, Ron, you had specifically asked for something free, so that's why we're talking about this one
Versus 1Password.
Yeah,
versus
I use LastPass. But that is a paid subscription. So there are other options. Cherlynn, what is your choice when it comes to password management?
The Google one, the free one. I mean, everything you guys said, it's perfect. It works well for me. It has occasional quirks though, where it will recognize something as a password that wasn't actually a password, and then try to save it. And I'm like, no, girl, it's okay.
No, go away.
Yeah.
And after a certain amount of time, does it automatically save it? Does it like give you a countdown? Like, would you like to save this? And count down, and then it just saves it if you do nothing, or
no, it would just leave. It would stay there, and you can say no or yes.
Good.
Yeah, and then it also updates your passwords when it notices that you've changed it and that sort of stuff. And it's good.
Yeah,
I like it.
Good. They've come a long way. This has been a feature there for quite a while, and they've improved it over the years. And I think now it's at a really good point. I'm just so embedded into LastPass that I don't use it. If I wasn't using LastPass, I probably would use it, but everything's in LastPass, so that ends up being what I use. But Ron, there you go. I hope that's helpful. You got what you asked for. A free password manager, and it's already on your Pixel 3 XL. Just look for it. Let's take a break and thank the sponsor, and then we will get into the arena and show you some pretty awesome apps. We've got some great apps to show off this week. But first, this episode of All About Android is brought to you by LegalZoom. LegalZoom is here to help you with everything from trademarks to patents to becoming a corporation. You can do it all. You can take control of your future and check out LegalZoom to do it. 5 things business owners can count on from LegalZoom. If you're a business owner, you will realize they are incredibly reliable. They've helped over 2 million people start their own businesses. They have been helping all types of business owners for over 17 years. You can't buy that kind of experience. They know what they're doing. They'll help with LLCs, S-Corps, nonprofits, DBAs, and a whole lot more. Offers an amazing team of helpful support ready for your questions based all over the United States. LegalZoom is not a law firm, but they have a network of independent attorneys licensed in all 50 states who are ready to help you with any legal advice that you might need. So you can review contracts, help with employment laws. They can advise you on many of the hurdles that pop up when you're running a business, so there aren't any surprises. And isn't that great? LegalZoom provides complete transparency with upfront pricing, customer reviews, and a satisfaction guarantee. And I've mentioned on the show before, I've been using LegalZoom for years, since before I even worked at Twit. Basically, about the time we had our first daughter, got a living will done through LegalZoom. It was easy. It was just super straightforward and easy to do. And I think we were worried when we went into it that it was going to be super challenging and difficult, and we were really happy with what we got. Check out LegalZoom.com today, and you can see how they can make life better for you and your business. Enter AAA at checkout to save even more. That's LegalZoom.com, and enter AAA for special savings. LegalZoom, where life meets legal. And now it's time for the arena.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
Twit.to/AAA poll 407 for last week's poll. Let's check in on this. View the results. And we have Canopy. Yeah, I had a feeling that was gonna do it. Canopy was Megan's app. 30% of the votes for Canopy. That was the free movies with a library card.
Megan brought it for her Android appearance. I know, for her annual Android appearance.
Second place would be Cut It Brain Puzzles, 25%. That was Ron's pick. Third place is, that would be GIF Maker or GIF Maker. GIF. Okay. Flo says GIF. I default to GIF. 17%, third place. Fourth place is Over, Edit and Add Text to Photos, 16%. And no surprise, I'm bringing up the rear. Time Locker, 12%.
I liked your game.
Well, you and 23 other people liked my game. It's okay. It's still a great game. You guys don't have to vote for it. Let's see here. Do we have? Yes, Wade County in chat says Through week 6, guests are in the lead at 21. Flo, you have 17. Ron at 16. And I'm way back at 10. So hopefully I can change it, turn it around a little bit. No pressure, by the way, Cherlynn, but you are in the lead and you don't want to mess this up for all the other guests this year.
I think I got a pretty good pick. We'll see.
I think you do. Since I am the returning loser, I have to go first. And I think I've got a pretty good pick as well. So we talk a lot about smartphones on this show. Mm-hmm. We talk about all the things that we want our smartphones to do, and this is be an awesome smartphone. And I could run a smartphone company. I would be really good at running a smartphone company. Well, now you can with a game called Smartphone Tycoon. And you basically
appropriate for MWC.
I know. It's basically a game, and I will admit it's one of those games that's been translated from another language. So there are prompts that you read, and it just makes you laugh because the translation to English is not perfect, but it's endearing nonetheless. And you start off, so you have to name your company. My company's name is the Twitsung Pluscom. And you start a business, and with that business, you get to launch a new phone, and you want to, of course, sell a lot of versions of the phone. You want to generate good feedback, and you get like a lot of fans, and they start building up. If you take too long to release a new phone, your fans number goes down. See, I haven't released a phone in a while, so I was just docked 79 fans. You can create your own operating system if you like. I haven't done that. I opted for Android with my phone, which I'll show you in a second. I have one developer working in my office right now. If I wanted to create a smartphone, I could go in here. I could increase the number of employees, but let's just create a smartphone. Wait until the end sale of the first batch of the. Oh yeah, my first phone is the Twitsung Pluscom Zenofone XS Plus Plus. So apparently I have to wait for that to finish its sale. I want to see the phone though, because it's really
incredibly endearing.
It's a beautiful phone. It's got I sold 82,387 copies in my short run of it, making around $36 million, which is not bad.
Not bad, Jason.
Reviewers gave it on average a 10.
Wow. Out of what?
I don't know. So the materials of all my specs, which I can rattle off if you like, ran around $710. I chose to price it at $1,388.
Wow!
So it's a little pricey.
I need to know what you put inside. Okay. Come
on. only the most top notch specs. 2 gigs of RAM, an Intel X2 processor, 2 gigs of ROM, so storage, a 12 megapixel camera with an 8 megapixel on the front, 2,000 milliamp hour battery.
This is highway robbery.
Well, you know what? 82,387 people thought it was great.
I'm impressed.
82,000 people got cheated.
So anyways, I did go with a fashionable notch and more or less, bezel-less. I kind of would have preferred to do a teardrop, but it didn't give me the option. Maybe that's a feature that opens up later. I'm losing fans left and right. There's some news here that says that NVIDIA has released a new powerful Turga 3 processor. So I have more to work with here.
This is incredibly endearing. I'm just
You can do
giggling
marketing
over
plans.
how cute this is. It's just so.
I'm going to go ahead and buy a magazine poster, SMM, and Billboard's marketing plan.
Magazines, that's so cute.
Is that okay? That's what that means. I can, of course, increase things like my screen technology. I can give myself more options around. Basically, you do research into different
market research,
market research into different facets of your technology, so you can maybe increase the screen resolution over time or reduce thickness. Maybe get a larger battery. That would actually probably be pretty.
Yeah, come on, give him at least 4,000. Come on, Jason.
All right, so my fans rating is going up. I'm not really entirely sure. Oh, it just disappeared. Yeah. So, are you want to upgrade the office? New office costs $1 million. Yes, I want to upgrade the office. Now I've got so many seats. I feel like I need an employee, a new employee. Okay, so that employee is already hired. Cordoba Eduardo is 19 years old, has 1 year. So far.
Really?
So far, that's all I've seen. $1,200 a month approved.
Really? Really?
Come on, I'm looking. Look,
Wow.
the hiring pool is not very diverse. Okay, these are the only people.
bros.
These are the only people who have applied for my position, and so I don't know what to tell you, but approve, sure. And now I've got more people working. I feel like I should be able to create a smartphone because it really is wonderful to create a smartphone, and I can't even show you the whole process. Anyways, you're going to have to just check it out for yourself. Smartphone Tycoon, $3.99 gets you this phenomenal and realistic look at creating smartphones in the industry that we love so much on this show. Smartphone Tycoon. That's a screenshot from when you're designing your phone. You get to like play around with all the specifications, and I put my camera like off center, dead in the middle, just because it looked weird. And yeah, you could do whatever you want. It's pretty awesome. Smartphone Tycoon. All right.
I love the art in this, by the way. That whole, the game art looks incredible.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it looks good. You got a little blueprint. You can play around with things. That is the Qualcomm Phone X5. Naming these things is as fun as anything, really. So there you go. All right, Cherlynn. I love this game, like this card game. So I'm stoked that you're going to show it off. So tell us a little bit about your pick.
It is Exploding Kittens, the app by the makers of Exploding Kittens, the card game by the Oatmeal, who I have been a longtime fan of. If you're familiar with the card game, you'll know how this goes. You basically, I don't know how to explain the game to people, but
it's kind of hard to explain.
It is a little hard to explain. It's kind of like Snap, but not Snap. But
It's kind of like Uno. Yeah, Victor says kind of Uno-ish.
Uno,
It is.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, right. You have reverse. You have like a double deal. What I can't remember the last time I played Uno. But yeah, it's basically Uno but with cats. And there's some really, really annoying cards in the deck depending on what expansion pack you get in the app or in real life. My favorite thing about this app, in addition to actually playing the game, is that you can invite your friends to play in like a virtual game. So I think you can play I play with my friend side by side, like next to her, but I'm pretty sure could play as long as I gave them the room code, wherever we are. So it's a fun way to kind of like just chill out with your friends if you're even not in the same country, I think. And it's not too expensive of an app. The expansion decks also go on sale pretty often. This is also a very popular card game, so it's nice. For me, I've been honing my skills playing against all the different robot players in this. You start out with Toaster Cat, which is the easiest. Then you go up to Clawborg 3000. And I just get so angry, so angry at Clawborg 3000 because it's a very good player, and I lose to it about half the time. But yeah, there's just it's a good game. Although I have to admit, at this point, maybe not as good as your Smartphone Tycoon game.
Oh, don't say that. They're both very good games.
They're both very good. I do enjoy this. This is a little less time consuming maybe, or it's less invested. You have to be to play around with this.
Oh, see, I don't want that one. I don't want the Exploding Kitten card. I was able to.
You can draw the next one. Yeah, you can draw the next one now. There you go.
I think we're gonna be good. Toaster Cat's gonna draw that one. It's the Exploding Kitten. Can Toaster Cat diffuse?
Diffuse.
Dang it.
Yep. Well, the problem is now Toaster Cat has like 5 cards and you have 2, and that's a very bad position to be in.
Yeah. Oh, why did I do that?
You have a diffuse card.
I do. I can diffuse it. Okay.
Yay.
All right.
It's a pretty simple game, but also a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. I really like it. Exploding Kittens, $1.99, and it does have that online play with friends mode, which is probably how you want to play it anyways, but the AI is fun too.
You can play with other people too. I did not enjoy my experience playing with other people. Random players, it was not as fun.
Yeah, that makes sense. Exploding Kittens, $1.99. All right, Flo, what you got?
I brought a helpful utility to the arena today. It is so helpful. It has helped me. It's funny because before we do the podcast, I always try to like practice what I'm going to say, and then I always end up like not saying it. Anyway. Okay, so I take a lot of screenshots on my phone, right? It's part of my job. That's what I do. I take screenshots. I write about apps. Well, not just that. I also do a lot of social media on my apps. And because of that, I'm always taking screenshots and sending them to friends and like downloading quotes that I like and, things of the sort. But I got really tired of having to do it the long way, which was to take the screenshot, wait for the thing to show up in the notification, and then go into the app and then crop it and then post it. Oh my God, it takes too long. So I found this very helpful little utility called Screen Crop Quick Settings Tile. It is 99 cents. And of course, remember, support your devs. So how this works is it is a quick settings tile. So when you're ready to take a screenshot, you just hop into the quick settings. Once you've installed it, tap on screen crop. All right. And then it's kind of, if you use the cropping app on Windows 10, for instance, it might look very familiar to you because all you have to do now is you just drag and crop. Save. And now it's immediately available in a folder for me to upload to the internet or do whatever I need to do with it. File it away, etc.
Amazing.
And that's it.
That's it. It does one thing and it does it well.
It's completely made cropping like the easiest thing.
Awesome.
And I really appreciate it. And maybe you will too.
Screen crop. Quick settings tile. 99 cents.
Get rid of those ads and support your devs.
Yes.
For helping you out.
Support your devs. Screen crop. All right, so twit.to/AAA poll 408, twit.to/AAA poll 408. Place your vote for your favorite app this week. Is it Smartphone Tycoon, Exploding Kittens, or Screen Crop? Hopefully that URL works. Yes, it does. Victor gets to place the first-ish vote. Which one does he vote for? Yes, Smartphone Tycoon. I will pay you $5 after the show. Did it actually place? Or did I set it up so that it doesn't show you the results? Oh, okay, good. Phew, I want to get credit for that. Scroll down a little bit because it looks like Smartphone Tycoon and Screen Crop 50 both have one vote and Exploding Kittens has none. Yet, it's still very early. All the votes come in after the downloads and all that. So this will fluctuate. This will change over time. Cherlynn, feel free to point all of your followers to the poll.
Yes.
You are absolutely allowed to do that.
Oh,
and yeah,
cool.
We'll check in on it next week and kind of see where it lands. Excellent apps this week. And that is it for this episode. Cherlynn, so great to get you back. I'm really happy we could make this work. Thank you.
Yeah, same. Good to be back.
Right on. So you're going to do the Samsung coverage tomorrow, and then you're from the airport. So that should be fun. And then you're going to hop on a plane and spend the next week of your life in Barcelona. I wish you well.
Thank you.
Yeah. have fun. Stay well. And I imagine you're going to be posting from the show. They should just go to Engadget.com and follow your work there?
Yeah, or my Twitter. It would be great.
Okay. At Cherlynn Low. Awesome. Yep. Thank you again. We'll talk to you soon. We'll have you back.
Thanks for having me. See you guys.
Absolutely. And Flo, what about you? What you up to?
Me, what am I? Tomorrow I am going to the Samsung event to cover it for Twit. So you will see a hands-on from me tomorrow here on the network. So stay tuned.
Nice.
It's gonna be a package I'm putting together tomorrow. So wish me luck.
Awesome. Good luck. You'll do great. Can't wait to see it. Victor, thank you. Appreciate all your help on the show as usual.
No problem.
And thanks to everyone who helps us do the show each and every week. I don't have Alex sitting here looking disapprovingly at me this week. It didn't happen. Burke was kind of here, but he was really just making fun of us in the chat room. I don't know what kind of support we have, but I'm appreciative.
I don't know what kind of... It's hard to find support these days.
Whatever. I'll take what we can get. Yes, I will also be here tomorrow doing the live coverage of the Samsung event, 11 a.m. Pacific. Again, twit.tv/live. And yeah, looking forward to that. But that is it for this week. Leave us voicemails 347-SHOW-AAA. Send us emails at AAA@twit.tv. Find us on Twitter. We are at Android Show. Arena apps list can be found at twit.to/Android apps. All of the apps that we've done in the Arena to date. It might be a little out of date, but that's okay. It'll get there. Show notes and past episodes can always be found at twit.tv/AAA. That is our home on the web where you can find everything. Podcast, subscribe links, all of our past episodes. You can play audio, video, everything is there. And finally, you can catch us live on the stream every Tuesday starting around 5 p.m. Pacific at twit.tv/live. Thank you again. We'll see everyone next week on another episode of All About Android. Bye, everybody. Bye.